or to fit a certain image. And I completely understand that, societal pressures to look a certain way are so real, especially nowadays. So I understand that pressure. And, my journey started that way too. But over time, I started to realize that I was getting so many more benefits from prioritizing my physical health than just the physical changes, like the body composition changes. Things like better focus, more energy, better stress management. And over time, those became my real motivators to continue my journey. And so, what I do with my clients is, I help them kind of flip that mental script. I help them dig into their deeper why. Why do you want a six pack, or why do you want toned arms, or whatever that physical want is? Why do we actually want it? And I find that when we unpack it, it is rarely just about appearance. Sometimes, and that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times, it's actually about something much deeper, self confidence, having more energy, being more present with people in your life, maybe personally or even at work. So, through my calm method of confidence, accountability, lifestyle, and mindset, I help clients, guide them to connect their workouts to more real life outcomes like that, steadier nerves, sharper focus, or just feeling more capable if they're feeling stuck in their life, feeling more resilient to those stressors. And I really found that, movement has such a strong purpose beyond just aesthetics. It stops feeling like just a chore when you stop viewing it that way, and it becomes more of a tool for confidence, for clarity, for creativity, and all of those things that we need on a daily basis. Same brain systems that you rely on for focus, for creativity, for problem solving that these professionals need on a daily basis are the same brain systems that benefit most from movement. So, in my talks, in my coachings with these professionals, I show how physical activity actually enhances mental performance. It improves emotional regulation, focus, resilience. And what I do with them is we focus on small, repeatable systems. It could be something so small as a posture reset after long periods at a desk, keeping high protein or high fiber snacks at their desk with them so they're not pushing through starvation mode. And, we get that cognitive fog. We're never performing our best when we're starving ourselves. Doesn't happen. Little habits like that. Maybe the 4-7-8 breathing, inhale 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Doing that before presentations or high stress moments. And those can really, really help regulate stress. And then also just starting to work on mindset cues that turn stress into fuel instead of fatigue and burnout, which tends to happen. So it's really about reframing those thoughts and, stressful situations instead of viewing them as a threat, such as maybe Q&As, right? Q&As can be such a stressful situation. We go into that with all of these negative thoughts. When we do that, our brain interprets that as a threat. So we're going to react very, this fight or flight mode. We're going to be ready for a threat. But if we can rewire our thinking as a more positive or neutral challenge, something like, well, the Q&A is my chance to showcase my expertise, to showcase my knowledge. Our body in that moment when facing that challenge is going to respond much differently, much calmer than it would when you're viewing it as a threat. So it's these little mindset hacks, these little things, and they're really small, science-based practices that make it easier to perform well without burning out. So that's the key, incorporating movement, breath work, these mindset cues to give your nervous system a regular chance to reset. And over time, these small habits can almost act like a buffer by reducing stress, improving energy, sustaining focus, and, it just helps in those long, demanding days. I teach the idea of micro habits, which are just short, repeatable actions that you pair with things that you already do on a daily basis. So this can mean a few minutes of stretching before sitting down to focus. It can mean a short walk between projects or between meetings. It could even be something like pairing an audiobook. Maybe you need to listen to a few chapters, right? As students, sometimes you need to listen to some things. Pairing that while lifting weights, or get a walking pad. Use a walking pad while you're on a meeting or listening to a lecture. If you don't want to get a full-on walking pad, just stand. just stand during that. It makes such a difference in your body's alertness, focus, energy versus just kind of sitting and slumping, which also comes back to posture. This is going to activate our spine. This is going to help us breathe through our diaphragm, which is going to support our voice. It's going to help us come across more confidently. So it's all these little things. And, the real reason behind movement is because movement will release this protein in our brains called BDNF. And that is responsible for learning, memory, and creativity. It supports our neural pathways. So it makes thinking and, associating concepts easier. So that's why I know you and I have talked about this before. Most people find their best ideas when they're on a stroll, when they're moving, not while they're laying in bed or sitting there. Typically, that aha moment comes when we are moving our body because our brain is literally releasing proteins to make that happen. So I'd say, just viewing your wellness as something that fuels your focus and productivity rather than something that's competing with your schedule. It'll stop feeling like another task on your to-do list and it starts becoming just part of your daily rhythm because it's embedded into your daily routine. Minutes earlier every night over time, all of these things just really shifted my mindset. And I noticed that my relationships even were strengthened, my friendships, my relationships with my family, my just energy. A lot of people started commenting on the energy that I bring to meetings and that I bring to just brainstorming sessions was something that, I never got compliments or comments on my energy prior to me prioritizing my health. So that's really where I started noticing it. And, I've always been the type of person that knows that what I want to do as a job or in my life is to help people in some way. So this just felt like the perfect way. I went through these steps myself and now I want to help other people feel the same. So, overall, I feel that now I can help people view health as something that can be a sustainable lifestyle, supporting consistent performance and happiness rather than just a seasonal goal, before summertime. So that's sort of my philosophy of mindful fitness. I would say that balance is always key. And it's really important to, work with a professional to make sure you're not overdoing it because, of course, if you are putting too much stress on your body, that can actually do you a disservice. That can release a lot of cortisol, our stress hormone, which actually makes it harder to lose weight. It can affect your sleep. It can do a lot of different things. So it can, in short, everyone's different. Everyone's body is different. Their stress tolerance, all that's different. If you are in a structured program, typically dependent on your goals, going to the gym, if you're going every day, that's great. Depending on what you're doing, right? We only need to work our muscles so hard to see benefits in that sense. So we do want to find balance and make sure we're not burning out at the gym because that's definitely something that can happen. Think about those times when you have like holiday time. Realistically, you're probably not going to have the time to go to the gym all the time or just busy seasons at work. You don't want it to become a reliance to where if you can't make it, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? I don't know. Like I have no energy. The goal really is to make it a lifestyle so that now you've trained your brain, you've trained your body to be able to operate optimally versus relying on it to operate. Something really beautiful about finding the motivation in the journey and not just the results. And I think that a lot of times, we live in a world where it's like we want an answer, we want a solution, we type it in our phone and there it is. ChatGPT's got it for us, right? And I think we just live in this world where we just want things done right away. And it's just really going in with the mindset that, I know this is going to be a journey and I'm going to find the beauty in this journey. And the thing with fitness is that just because you've hit your goal, it doesn't mean you can just stop. You can just throw away everything that you were doing. And that's why sustainability is so, so important. Progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from consistency. So building a lifestyle that you genuinely enjoy, that you actually like, that it just feels like, okay, this is my lifestyle. I'm not on a diet right now. I'm not punishing myself by going to the gym 5 times a day. Just starting with one intentional new habit. If you're a beginner, maybe just a 10-minute walk between meetings every day. Maybe it's a brief like breathing session ahead of stressful situations. Maybe you're just paying attention to your posture. Maybe you're getting that walking pad. Even these tiny little things, each small win will build confidence, and confidence will fuel momentum. The biggest thing I want people to know is that confidence comes through action, not just from results. So if you are actually taking actionable steps and hitting these small wins and celebrating them, that's how your confidence grows. Smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's really the foundation of mindful fitness and the calm method. Small mindful steps that create accountability, strengthen our mindset, and just help you maintain energy and focus during hectic times. So overall, just remember, don't overhaul your whole life to get healthier. Just start with one calm, intentional choice, stay consistent, and build over time.